together with the executive members, 2 MECs, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable Mkhize, accompanied by other members, your Honorable Direko, Honorable Sompa, Honorable Ndamase, Honorable Zail, Honorable Labus Kahne, Honorable Mtola, Honorable Buthelezi, Honorable Mkalipa, Honorable Van Veek, Honorable Spice, Honorables Mwali, Honorable Majuna, Honorable Jose, Honorable May, Honorable Antikosen, Honorable Matlala, Honorable Kubeka, Honorable Nkuna, and Honorable Nontenja, ladies and gentlemen, and honorable member of the legislature. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all welcome to this joint oversight visit by the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance, SCOPA and SAOC, joined by the Northwest Province Legislature. As we officially open and declare this session open, let us remember that we will struggle for the next 3 days, meaning our energy and participation will be fully required at all costs. Honorable members and all, this visit comes amid negative reports we hear day in, day out about the state of our municipality countrywide. Indeed, the center pivot is not holding at all. When we refer back to the Good Governance, Africa's latest annual governance performance index, which was released last year in March 2024 after 3 full years of absence, it clearly shows that most of our municipality state of undertaking need urgent attention. The GPI measure how good or bad individual municipalities have been performing based on 40 indicators under 4 primary categories. I must say that the picture findings are quite unsatisfactory. Henceforth, we're here to find solution and move with speed in making sure that we take service to our masses. Honorable members, the Northwest Province is not an exception to all these teething problems facing our municipality. That is why we are here today. We are in intensive care unit as service delivery machinery in the province. And it's critical and also disappointing that the human rights of our community are violated on a daily basis. And we must take the bull by its horn. We must say it as it is. In protecting is not going to help because we will never find solution to our problem. All of us in here are on a fact and solution finding mission. Now let us all do justice to all the processes. The state of municipality can only improve if we all pull in one direction. And I believe that the team present here today will, after 3 days, have changed the status quo in the Northwest Province landscape. Your input and expertise will surely steady the ship into correct shores. Once more, everybody is
and the Standing Committee on the Auditor General, the Premier of the province, and the MECs present, members of the legislature, mayors, councillors, municipal managers, and members of the public. To the northwest. Before I proceed, I wish to introduce the members of our delegation from the National Assembly. My name is Zwelini Mkhize. I'm the chairperson of the portfolio of COGTA. In my delegation, we have a number of members of the National Assembly. On my left is Honorable Direko, who will show her hand. And let me just go through my list, so we'll ask the members to indicate where they are seated. Honorable Sompa Masiu, Honorable Pumelele Ndamase, Honorable Anna Maria van Zyl, Honorable Kathleen Labuskaghne, Honorable Peggy Mtolo, Honorable Zwelakhe Mthethwa, Honorable Buthelezi has apologized on the basis of ill health, may join us a bit later. Honorable Mkhalipi will be joining us a bit later. She's on her way because of other engagements. Honorable Saint van Wyk is present. And the members from the Standing Committee on Auditor General, Ms. Eleanor Spies. Oh, okay. Mr. Sanele Mwali, Mr. Ntando Maduna, Ms. Tinswalo Joyce Bila, Ms. Helen Neil May. She's not here yet. Okay, she'll be joining us. Mr. Patrick George Atkinson. Okay, she'll be joining us. Mr. Patrick George Atkinson. Mr. Talente Upega. Ms. Ntombo Vuyo Mente Nkuna, she will be joining us a bit late. She's in another engagement. Ms. Thandiwe Nontenja. Now, I just need to check if I've missed out any member. Okay, thanks. That is the delegation from the joint committees of Parliament. And we are here to conduct an oversight visit, which we call a joint oversight visit. In Parliament, a consolidated general report on local government outcomes in respect of 2023-24 financial year, with a key message that the poor audit outcomes trend the areas of poor and slow responses to investigating allegations of financial and supply chain management misconduct, fraud indicators, not investigating and not properly dealing with unauthorized, irregular, and fruitless and wasteful expenditure, and material non-compliance with legislation on consequence management. Poor political and administrative leadership with legislation on consequence management. Poor political and administrative leadership or performance of the local government level. And the OAG noted that the desired impact of the national and provincial interventions to help financially distressed municipalities to deal with their challenges had not yet been realized, and the support had to be intensified. This matter was discussed with the Speaker and the Joint Committee chairpersons to look at a way of how to address this matter so that last year's reported outcomes and this year's reported outcomes are no longer the same as what will come in the next reporting cycle. Pursuant on tabling this report, and the Portfolio Committee resolved, therefore, to modify its oversight strategy, which ultimately had to involve all the three committees and ensuring that we ensure the participation of the three spheres of government in the issues of accountability, involving the executive at provincial and local levels, as we had been all along focusing on the executive at national level. Mindful of cooperative government and intergovernmental relations, portfolio committees at the provincial level. This is in line also with the Auditor General's recommendation to the effect that ministers and members of the Executive Councils responsible for finance and local government, together with Parliament and provincial legislatures, should enhance their intervention and oversight to achieve tangible improvement. So we have therefore requested various leaders at the provincial level, specifically because of their responsibility in the Constitution. The Premier, in terms of Section 1251 of the Constitution, that vests provincial government executive authority in the Premier's office. Section 155(c)(6) of the Constitution stipulates that the provincial government must, by legislative and other means, provide for the monitoring and support of local government in the province, and to promote the development of 343 of the MFMA stipulates that when performing its monitoring in terms of Section 155(c) of the Constitution, a provincial government must share with a municipality the result of its monitoring to the extent that those results may assist the municipality in improving its financial management. And two, upon detecting any emerging or impending financial problems in a municipality, they must alert the municipality of those problems and may assist the municipality to avert or resolve their financial problems. In terms of Section 155(7) of the Constitution, provincial government and national government, subject to Section 44 of the Constitution, has the legislative and executive authority to see effective performance by municipalities of their functions in respect of matters listed in Schedule 4 and 5, regulating the extensive exercise by municipalities of their executive authority referred to in also want to know about the consequence management exercise. We also want to know the corrective steps that have been taken to rectify the transgressions identified in the 2023-24 Auditor General Municipal Finance Management Act report. We'd also like to ask what are the future and accounting platform where these corrections will be monitored, and also anticipated actions to be taken if the preventative or targets are missed. Issues that have been raised by the Auditor General include municipal performance reporting deficiencies. In fact, here the report was that of the supplied by 48% of the municipalities. Their information that's given is doubtful whether it can be of useful benefit. The Northwest has been reported as one of the provinces where poor quality performance reports were most prevalent. Two, that issues of claimed outcomes from 9 in 2020-21 to 3. We want to discuss the 3 now. It is money, local municipalities which have been receiving disclaimed opinions for the last 8 years. This is 3 for Likwataimane and 6 for Atlo. The of disclaimers has been offset by an increase in qualified audit opinions. Then the number of adverse audit opinions involved Mamusa, Makwasi Hills, Magamdirim Lema, and these together received almost R1 billion of equitable share and about R500 million from other grants. Collectively, they managed the expenditure of 2.73 billion. They've got adverse audit opinions. Then there's a problem of weak oversight. Here we see that there's the lack of partnership amongst the 3 spheres in monitoring, and that's why you see things are falling into the gaps. The Auditor General raised the concern about the issue of very weak unfunded budgets. There are a number of municipalities in fact, funded budgets, and we would like to not only resolve that issue, but also get the commitment of the MECs and the Premier, the Executive, in dealing with this particular issue. Then there are a number of other financially distressed municipalities where there's a problem of a going concern uncertainty, and these municipalities are City of Matlosana, Ditsobotla, Dr. Ruth Skhomotsi, Mpati, JP Max, Khetleng Rifir, Likwati Mane, Madibeng, Mamusa, Makwasi Hills, and Naledi, Rustenburg, and Swaying. Then the other concern is that of lack of consequences. In terms of the 23-24 report, 53%, which is 132 municipalities, did not comply with legislation on consequence management. It's most evidence in the areas of poor or slow progress in investigation of the allegations of financial and supply chain issues. And this, again, we're going to be probing them with the necessary specificities. Increased reliance on financial reporting consultants. Here we have seen the use of consultants is still very rife, despite the fact that these reports are not adequate, but we're still paying consultants and not building internal capacity. There are other mandatory interventions, such as in Ditsobotla and Ramusiri Mwila. Again, here we would like to get a lot more information about what is happening with regard to these interventions. Then, of course, the area of poor contract management, the number of municipalities have fallen foul on this one. Non-action on irregular expenditure, and these are issues that are a challenge. There are a number of other issues that relate to various allegations of corruptions, and we will need more details. For example, there's one that we'll still be interested in when the MEC reports that the MEC was reported to have failed to investigate corruption in trying, as raised by the minister. So we will need to get more information in that regard. So, there's a whole list, therefore, that the MECs are going to have to take us through on these issues in their reports. Having said so, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members, and Honorable Premier and MECs, we did ask the municipalities and the MECs to give us reports. Normally we receive the reports ahead of our visit. I must say that the reports were quite unsatisfactory, if I may say so, Premier. They are unsatisfactory in the sense that we had indicated that there are specific questions that we need specific answers about, which were raised by the Auditor General. But we were hoping that the municipalities would give us broad enough information for us to understand the context under which they operate. This has not really happened. So what they would have done, they basically just responded to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 audit queries and gave no background information on the municipalities. Now, this for us is a bit of a disappointment. I must also say, if it was a normal test, I would have said that they probably dealt with it like a MCQ type, where you just mark the one that's got the answer closest to what you are being asked, and would not have considered more the essay type, which is where you demonstrate your knowledge of what you are dealing with. In this case, we don't have a sense of where each municipality is, what staff establishment it has, what income it has, what are the debts and the creditors management issues, what are the debts with water, electricity, utilities, what are the service delivery issues, what are the investigations which are going on with various issues of allegations of corruption, what issues of vacancies. So it makes it very difficult even to understand a simple answer that is given if you don't understand what the problem is. And I can just give you an example and say, if you got a municipality that's got a disclaimer, it's been like that for several years and does not tell us that in fact it's so grant dependent and it only has difficulty attracting people because of its rural nature and poor status, it makes it very difficult to understand it's not just people failing to perform their tasks, because there's no background, there's no context. And I'm going to ask that through your office, may we request that they must provide us that information. Late as it is, we do want to know what's happening, and we need broader information. This is just general information which you can give it to us in like 10-15 minutes, and then we'll have a better sense of your situation. We're going to ask each and every one of the municipalities to resubmit those reports so that we can follow when we understand exactly what the challenges are. There have been a lot of reports about water problems, about vandalization of infrastructure and all of that, and none of them have actually even tried to elicit any sort of sympathy in understanding what challenges they face. We don't have a sense, and so it's not possible that you can have 3 committees coming just to answer 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions that were raised by the Auditor General. Instead, what you would expect is that there environment in which they are operating so that you can deal with. It's quite another whether, in fact, they would have dealt in details with the issues of allegations, which are quite widespread in the media, which we would like them to give specific answers on. Should give us that. We'll give them 5 minutes to give us a background on some of the issues which they consider relevant. Whatever they've already given us can be incorporated there, but the main thing is that we don't have a sense of how the municipalities are. If you are a visiting, even if you're a guest, somebody will just walk in and say, oh, welcome to such a place, it's this, it's that, and that, and you get some information. Here, there's nothing, zero, and that's a problem. And so it does give us a bit of a problem, because as you get a report, you get a sense of the determination of people to deal with their own challenges. Now, if you give as little information as possible, it already gives us a concern at what is it that we shouldn't be knowing about. And that becomes a problem. So, Premier, I'd like legislative provisions is to make it clear that at this point, we have taken the instruction of the Speaker of the National Assembly, who said you have to make sure that these interventions this time around bear fruit, and therefore the Premier and the AG will have a meeting afterwards to review what processes we've been through, and we need to be able to get back to them and say, yes, we've been to the Northwest Province. We can in the Northwest that would have failed to submit annual financial statement by the due date yesterday. We would have, as we leave, an undertaking from the MECs and the Premier and all the municipalities that there shall be no disclaimers this year around. We shall go back with an assurance that says all the issues of the investigation of unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, wasteful expenditure have been addressed, and that all the relevant allegations, all the relevant reports have been properly investigated, and there have been consequences that will act as a deterrent for future misconduct, that those have been dealt with. We also need to live with an understanding that some of the concerns that have been raised in relation to political instability, infighting. Sometimes you hear there are places where there are two speakers. Maybe there are not two speakers, but it looks like there are. And that those issues have been dealt with, and that we will not face those as a basis of any form of irregularities or municipal governance instability. So I would like to be able to get to that point. So our visit here is not so much about those technical questions of which the Auditor General technically may have reported, because I've seen in some instances there are instances where there would be a dispute of whether the Auditor General's report was correct or not. But our issue is that we want to be able to solicit an undertaking from this provincial government and municipal leadership that issues of governance, dysfunctionality, financial mismanagement, allegations of corruptions will be so addressed that there's a turnaround on the performance of the municipalities. Let me therefore say, with those words, we would like to take us forward. May I also say condolences to the Honorable MEC who have heard of the sad news of the family bereavement, Honorable Masenohi, Musenohi. Yes, condolences. But we would therefore like, at the end, Premier, we believe that you've got three spheres of government, but at the end of the day, they are one government. There has to be a set of accountability right across the three spheres. There has to be a sense of all of us taking responsibility for improvement of the services to our communities. We have this as a public discussion, and so the public would be following what we are doing. We believe it's important for the public to know that the whole of the national, provincial legislatures, the national and provincial executive, the local municipal councils, all of us are concerned with addressing issues of service delivery that plague them on a day-to-day basis. Wherever there are challenges, there should be a clear explanation, and at the end, they must not doubt our commitment towards improved and effective service delivery. With those words, I would like to therefore welcome you, Premier, to give us your address, and then of course we will ask the MECs to come in after that. You will manage it the way you wish. It's your team, so whatever who has to be delegated to say what, we accept that as your government, provincial government's input to us. Thank you very much, the Honorable. Oh, I see. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. No, thank you very much for your concerns in terms of the reports from municipalities and after thorough assessment, your conclusive view. Subsequent to our engagement on that matter, municipalities were convened and we did communicate the unhappiness, and therefore municipalities were directed to be able to give that account and were also advised to give situational reports and a background so that the members must have a sense of what are they talking about. And we expect today municipalities to take us through that expectation and therefore also to resubmit as the chair has guided. Honorable Speaker of the Northwest Legislature, Dr. Desbo Mohono, the chair of the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance, and honorable members of the Portfolio Committee.
I'm sorry, Speaker. Sorry, Premier. There's just a slight logistical issue. We're going to place someone to stand behind you. Please don't feel disturbed. After you are done, we'll do a short break so that they can do a...
Percent of our whole province have access to drinking water. We have in this province more than 2 million people who have access to education. We are just slightly above 94% of our people who have access to electricity. Despite these important breakthroughs, municipalities in our province are confronted by a number of challenges. Is the sluggish economic engulfing our country. Our province is at the receiving end of this conundrum and municipalities have not been spared. This has led to high levels of unemployment, and as a result of this conundrum and municipalities have not been spared. This has led to high levels of unemployment, and as a result, which spans over 15 years since the platinum boom in 2009, having an adverse impact on our revenue collection, stifling our developmental trajectory. Compounding this, Chair, is the closure of several mining operations in the province, and in particular, and this has a spilling over effect to our labor-sending municipalities such as Ngaka Modiri Molema and Dr. Ruth Sukhumotsi Mompati. Moreover, Chair, mining companies such as Glencore and Samanco have indicated that they will be forced to issue Section 128 in their smelters operation due to high input costs and a decline in the ferrochrome prices. This will add to the already high number of unemployment in our province, currently standing at and hovering around 52%. The fact that the mining industry in our province has a multiplier effect contributing to various economic opportunities for locals, much to the benefit of our municipalities. Unfortunately, this is no longer the case. This has left many of our municipalities in dire strain, resulting in the growing number of indigents in our municipalities. More often than not, these challenges, coupled with the growing population, has made it difficult for the province, and in particular municipalities, to meet their developmental objectives. Earlier this year, we made an impassioned plea for our beloved country to have a broader consultative discussion on the need to review public sector funding, and in particular the Division of Revenue Act. We reiterate our stance that allocations must be centered on addressing developmental challenges confronting poor provinces such as ours based on their needs and not the population. Honorable members, this visit comes exactly 2 weeks after we launched phase 2 of the accelerated service delivery program known as Tuntsale Role in this province. Through this initiative, we are visiting municipalities on a bi-weekly basis as Executive Council to assist them to address service delivery backlogs in our communities. We can report to this city that there is a semblance of improvement in our intervention measures, particularly in the rollout of infrastructure projects such as roads, water, and sanitation. The feedback we get from our residents is encouraging, but we believe we can do more. Honorable members, municipalities are a critical sphere of government due to their proximity to the citizens. Hence, this initiative of Tuntsale Role, which we call accelerated service delivery. Through this program, we seek to ensure that municipalities are accountable and provide residents with services in a sustainable manner. Our province has 18 local municipalities and 4 district municipalities. 2 of services in a sustainable manner. Our province has 18 local municipalities and 4 district municipalities. 2 of role as water service authorities. Challenges of water in districts remain a concern due to lack of investment in bulk desired result, and address this challenge. The Bujanala, local municipalities operate as water service authorities. Our municipalities are inundated with a number of challenges impeding their ability to inadequate revenue collection, unfunded budget, as well as unauthorized payment of creditors and parties. Of critical concern is the aging infrastructure, unreliable water sources, obligated by law as the to support and strengthen the capacity of municipalities to manage their own affairs as they perform their The Executive Council continuously monitor and support the performance of local government through their programs and traditional affairs. These departments table regular reports in municipalities. Our provincial EXCO reps are appointed to municipalities wherein the Executive Council of the Northwest Province invoked Section 139 in municipalities. Our provincial EXCO reps are appointed to municipalities wherein the Executive Council of the Northwest Province invoked Section 139 recovery plans. The interventions commenced in 2023 in Madibeng local municipality, Kgetleng local municipality, Ditsobotla local municipality, Ramotshere Moilwa local municipality, Tswayin local municipality, Naledi local municipality, and Dr. Ruth Sukhumotsi Mumpati district municipality. The Mahikeng local municipality is still to have an approved FRP. The interventions are anchored on 4 pillars, which are service delivery, financial management, institutional capacity, and governance. Our provincial EXCO reps are former accounting officers who were appointed after a rigorous Our provincial EXCO reps are former accounting officers who were appointed after a rigorous selection process, which also included vetting. Their responsibilities are detailed in the Extraordinary Gazette number 8501 of 23 May 2023. FRP activities are structured in 3 phases for a financial recovery. Honorable members, resulted in good progress. The Ramotshere Moilwa local municipality, after review, has been elevated to the sustainability phase. The municipality, a municipality program of the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. Dr. Ruth Sukhumotsi Mumpati district municipality has been also elevated to the stabilization phase, whilst others continue to show moderate approach. Implementation of the financial recovery plans has experienced resistance to improved governance and criminality challenges, but we remain focused to make the program a success. Our law enforcement agencies have come on board to mitigate risk of loss of life and damage to infrastructure. To that extent, the provincial government, through MEC for Finance, has also appointed a political oversight committee to look into all these challenges. It is centered on ensuring the functionality of the technical war room and advisory committees on these matters as we interact with our municipalities. Our provincial EXCO representatives report. It is centered on ensuring the functionality of the technical war room and advisory committees on these matters as we interact with our municipalities. Our provincial EXCO representatives report and traditional affairs. We also, through the Northwest Premiers Coordinating Council, the NWPCC, at both political and technical level, we continue and support. We have also completed the process of a one plan with a view to bring major development regulations and institutionalization of the new DDM. In instances where we have exhausted our support and capacity interventions, we have invoked Section 1391B, interventions of the Constitution to municipalities which are experiencing financial, governance, and institutional challenges which impinge negatively on service delivery. A case in point is the Tsobotla, Ratlo, and Lekwatemani municipalities due to disclaimers, audit opinions. In conclusion, Chair, definitely sure that their wisdom and constructive criticism will.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Premier. I think there's a problem with our sound. Can you just sort that out? It's getting better. Okay. Yes, I think. Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Premier, for your input. Gives us a sense of how things are in the province. Certainly, it will help us as we move along, understanding your municipalities. Before I proceed to the MECs, may I just request my colleagues, I wanted to give an opportunity for SCOPA, our colleagues from SCOPA, honorable members, just to make their comments, understanding, to give us their understanding and their expectations as we start. We'll also ask for the standing committee on the AG. I don't know who's going to help us with those comments. Yes, Honorable Spies.
Oh, thank you. My name is Gwenza Madlala from Scopa. Thank you, Chair, for the initial briefing. Our expectations would be largely aligned, particularly on issues of accountability, on performance issues, on ensuring that the people on the ground actually get the services that they are supposed to be getting. The people on the ground actually get the services that they are supposed to be getting. As a scope, I would go to the ground to actually see the issues, because on the ground at times does not match. But given the fact that this is a joint operation, you also believe that it is understood in the context that dishonesty would not be an acceptable practice. Some of us have been to the ground on different capacities, so we are aware of certain issues. Like the chair also mentioned, that some issues are even of media and in the public interest. So we would expect practical solutions, not rhetorical responses or nice to hear or sounding nice phrases, because our attitude also comes from a point where we say, what interventions can we deploy to assist the municipalities? So it's not a situation of us trying to catch the municipalities. But if we don't get an honest reflection of the reality, we will then live with a picture that everything is in order or is scheduled to be corrected. And if it is then not corrected, then our approach fundamentally changes when we move forward, because we would have then been misled and been made to believe that there are things and processes in place. So we do hope for a fruitful engagement, an honest engagement, a robust engagement. Our attitude at SCOPA slightly differs in some instances than other committees. We are not we are not as kind as other committees. So we take a more of a radical approach to issues, and it is in good faith, it is in good spirit. If we bluff each other in this room, we can assure that there will be no progress on the ground. So we must be as hard as possible with an intention of building. Whenever you are building, it is nails, hammers. You don't build a house on marshmallows on soft sand. So that's just my comments, unless if anyone wants to make an additional input. But we are looking forward to constructive, honest engagements. Dishonesty we will not tolerate. We do have information. We expect that it must be met with facts from officials. Thank you.
Thank you so much. To the members of the province and the municipalities present here today, good morning, first of all. As a standing committee on the Auditor General, our role on this joint oversight meeting with COGTA and SCOPA is first and foremost as a committee, standing committee, to support the Auditor General, which will allow then the Auditor General obviously to fulfill and execute its duties. And for us it's important that we foster positive relationships between the AG and you, the auditees. And our goal is obviously to improve the performance of both the AG and your municipality. And poor financial statement quality. And as we engage with you today and the days to follow, we want to emphasize our intention to understand your challenges that you are facing and to provide support to both yourselves, to the AG and every other committee present here. And so our belief is that we want to work together in a spirit of cooperation and mutual support so that we can enhance your municipality's ability to deliver it is. We are committed to listening. We want to learn and we want to provide guidance when needed. And accountability to us is very important. So ours is of positive criticism. Yes, we will be interrogating you by the questions we're asking, but not with the aim to blame. So let's work together to find solutions, to address the challenges and to build a much better future for our communities. I thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. I do assume that the municipalities are here. I just think for ease of my own sense of comfort, could we ask the first municipality to come and sit on the front row there? In terms of our arrangement, which was supposed to be miking. Let's have the delegation to come and take the seat in the front. because yeah. Yeah, because just check. Okay, thank you very much. At this point, let me invite the MEC for COGTA, MEC Mulapisi. You are on the floor. Can you pass the mic?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, Dr. Mkize. Let me also take the Premier, honorable members, and let me stand on the established protocol. Chair, let me indicate that since the start of the 7th administration, critical focus has been on getting our municipality to deliver on their mandate. We conducted together with MEC of Finance a roadshow to all our municipality to assess them on the 6 pillars of back to basics. It is my duty today to provide you with a frank and honest assessment of the state of our municipal council. And I must say our presentations tells a tale of 2 parallel realities, one of commendable progress or recognized progress attention. And we appreciate and welcome the joint oversight meeting as a way of strengthening our intervention and giving impetus to the 10 around strategies to achieve ideal municipalities, particularly addressing persistent findings by the AG. And in this regard, we have responded to all the questions directed to us as it was indicated by the chairperson. We have also shared the copy of our presentation, and a detailed report is contained in them. Chairperson, as it would be illustrated later by my colleague MEC Mosenogi, currently 8 of 22 municipalities are under my mandatory intervention in terms of Section 1395 due to poor financial management, and the provincial treasury has intervened. We acknowledge the progress made through the efforts of many dedicated men and women across various spheres of government. Notably, most municipalities now enjoy political stability, which has enabled consistent statutory meetings and improved compliance reporting. 60% of our municipal public accounts committee are functional and encouraging steps for oversight and accountability. However, these gains are undermined by the unsustainable growth of unauthorized, irregular, and fruitless and wasteful expenditure. On water debt, intervention led by the Premier and as initiated by Minister Majodina, we have been enable our municipalities to pay 86 million to water boards, such as Magales Water, between April and June 2025. Financial discipline remains critical to safeguarding sustainable water service for our communities. Dealing with issues of municipal infrastructure grant, in 2023-2024 financial year, the MIG grant expenditure reached 97% in just 8 months. In 24-25, this improved to 99%. The highest in 6 years, demonstrating steady progress in grant utilization. By June 2025, funds were effectively deployed across social infrastructure projects. Number of projects were 52, and over 240 million was spent. Road and stormwater number of projects were about 111, and over 837 million was spent. On waste facilities, number of projects were 8, and over 80 million was spent. Water and sanitation, number of projects were 57, and over 882 million was spent. And economic infrastructure, there were about 5 projects and over 7 million was spent. This mid-year review highlights our commitment to community development and sound financial management through collaboration with SALGA. Great progress is registered on the utilization of available grants. We have looked into the institutional capacity of our municipalities. And I must indicate that based on municipal organogram, there are about a total of 148 senior management posts across our municipalities currently. 107 of these posts are filled, representing 72%, while 41 posts remain vacant, which is 28% of the filled position. 30 are occupied by women, making it up to 28% of senior managers. These positions include 3 municipal managers, 5 CFOs, 4 directors of technical services and 4 directors of corporate services and 3 directors of planning, 5 directors of community services and 6 in other senior management posts. We have implored the committee to note the slide detailing district breakdown for the sake of managing time as allocated to us. So if you look into the slide, you would realize the detail per district and per municipality in terms of the filling of the vacant posts and those that are vacant. We must also acknowledge the need for greater gender representation at senior management. Strain. A critical 4 out of 7 senior management positions are vacant, crippling the ability to function effectively. This leadership vacuum is exacerbated by damaging litigation between the municipal manager and the council. As a direct result, financial governance has there is a clear signal of profound dysfunction. In response, the provincial executive has intervened, issuing directive under Section 191A, effective from March 2025. The municipality is cooperating fully, providing regular progress report, and we are already seeing a fair amount of improvement. Key directives are in place to stabilize governance and oversight, promote compliance, recruit senior managers, enhance administrative capacity, improve financial management, and ensure sound litigation management. The third municipality is Mamusa local improvement. Key directives are in place to stabilize governance and oversight, promote compliance, recruit senior managers, enhance administrative capacity, improve financial management, and ensure sound litigation management. The third municipality is Mamusa local municipality. needing urgent support. Severe governance and financial failures, political instability and needing urgent support. Severe governance and financial failures, political instability and massive irregular expenditure and struggles to pay creditors and salaries. In response, the provincial executive has invoked Section 1391A with firm directives for immediate action. The fourth municipality is the municipality that the chair, which faces a governance and financial crisis. Senior posts are vacant. UIF and W stand at 1.5 billion. Oversight reports lack for a period of 6 years, and ESCOM remains unpaid. Litigation has paralyzed the leadership while villages suffer without water. We have directed the urgent appointment of an acting municipal manager after the term of contract came to an end with the seconded acting municipal manager to the municipality. The filling of senior posts within 3 months and immediate implementation of the financial recovery plan. Above all, restoring water supply must be a top priority with firm action as in Kagisano Molopo. The last municipality is Ramotsere municipality, which has recently experienced some challenges. This municipality has been doing well until the recent developments in the municipality of having 2 mayors. I must report that this matter is receiving attention from the leadership as led by the Premier. We have met with councillors in that municipality last week, Friday. We have also involved the police to try and arrest the situation so that we can bring the municipality back to normality. There are a number of interventions that we have made as far as supporting the municipalities at the provincial level. And if you refer to one of the slides under the heading 2024-25 Municipal Support and Intervention, explain in detail the support that we have provided across the 3 key priority areas. 1, governance, intervention, financial management, intervention, and service delivery intervention. We recently concluded a comprehensive skills audit across all 20 municipalities with the exclusion of Mamusa and Kagisano Molopo. The outcome of this audit have been shared with each municipality for their immediate implementation. Our analysis revealed several critical factors, including significant gender disparities, underrepresentation of persons with disability, a lack of staff retention strategies, insufficient capacity building programs, and the incorrect placement of the employees. Thus, COGTA has officially recommended that all municipalities use their workplace skills plan to actively close the identified skills gap. To mitigate on the lack of requisite skills, we also launched the 100 postgraduate internship program. The core mission of this graduate program is of our municipality. They are qualified in the following disciplines: public administration and local government, information technology, accounting, environmental and civil engineering, and developmental studies and risk management. Moreover, through strategic partnership with Mersita, the department has appointed 44 unemployed youth individuals qualified in electrical engineering been enrolled into the structure that 44 unemployed youth individuals qualified in electrical engineering been enrolled into the structure in October 2027. We have a clear and measurable expected outputs for this investment. First, to increase the number of professionally registered mechanics, to significantly increase the institutional and management capacity of the technical departments in significantly increase the institutional and management capacity of the technical departments in where we have placed these graduates per municipality. In terms of the municipal support and intervention, in 2025-26 intervention support, which is a 360-degree integrated support and intervention plan, which was developed. We have also intervened in terms of Section 106 in about, I think, 3 or 4 municipalities. The department continued to act decisively against the perception and, in some instances, the reality that corruption and poor governance is entrenched in our municipalities. As such, we have authorized investigation into serious allegation of maladministration, fraud, and other irregularities in Greater Taung, in the city of Matlosane, just to give a brief status of the investigation. In Greater Town, the investigation is completed and
Thank you very much, MEC. Let me invite the MEC for Finance, Musenochi, to make the presentation. I'm going to ask the members to hold all their questions until this next presentation, and then we're going to then ask questions to the MECs and the Premier. Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you.
Whilst we are busy with that, let me just say, for those of us who are not familiar with this place, the ablution facilities are on the door as I'm pointing to the extreme right of my, or to my, with this place. The ablution facilities are on the door as I'm pointing to the extreme right of my, or to my MEC. Then we'll entertain some questions, and we'll take a few minutes just to set up the sign language thing, and then we'll come to the municipality after that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Okay, it looks like there's another ablution over this side, so thank you. Let's just, for convenience of the members, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and for the message of support to the family, Honorable Speaker, Dr. Mohono, Honorable Premier, and all honorable members present here, including officials. We do is accountable in respect of improving financial management and reporting. The report highlights efforts taken to support, identifies a constitution and relevant legislation on our roles and responsibility as the provincial government, on our roles and responsibility as the provincial government, and relevant legislation on our roles and responsibility as the provincial government. Municipalities in the province have continued to face significant challenges in achieving improved audit outcomes, maintaining funded budgets, and complying with key financial management, consultant, and limited institutional capacity. Structured approach to support municipalities in addressing this shortcoming, to support and hand-holding in line with the provisions of to provide strategic guidance and oversee the implementation of the of COGTA. Audit outcome improved initiatives include readiness programs, monitoring, and engagement with municipal leadership. Actively worked towards a common solution to are aligned with the principle of cooperative governance and oversight. Despite these efforts, progress has been uneven across municipalities. Others remain stagnant. In such cases, the department has taken steps to ensure accountability and escalate issues in line with the legislative powers of the department, and working also with the relevant MECs who earlier in the presentation. In terms of audit outcome, Chair, as per the 2023-2024, been a significant reduction of disclaimed opinion from 9 in 2020-2021 to 3 in 2023-2024, which you have highlighted, and we do share an increase in qualified audit opinion. The objectives is to support municipalities to improve governance by implementing proper internal controls, standard operating procedures to eliminate the root causes of audit findings. The Provincial Treasury provides the following structured support to municipalities in the province: review of draft financial statements, and provide feedback before submissions to AG. And earlier on, you did indicate, Chair, that you hope that all municipalities have submitted. We wish to indicate that all municipalities have submitted. We are working with the AG to look into the quality and the content of those submissions that have been made. And this is an improvement, considering that in the previous financial year, we had Ditsobotla and Kagisano Molopo submitting very late, and we had to assist them with the preparation of the financial statements. We also provide technical support on the general recognized accounting practice standard, monitor, as I said, the AFS preparations, on-job training, as we said, amongst other key issues that we have highlighted. I don't want to reiterate again on the audit outcome, which you know, but we wish to indicate that over the past 5 audit cycles, there has been a consistent increase in municipalities receiving qualified audit outcomes, accompanied by a notable reduction in those receiving disclaimers. This is indicative of the gradual improvement in financial reporting and governance significantly. None of the municipalities in Bojana Line, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda district, received a disclaimer opinion. Of course, we are concerned about Makwasi Hills municipality with the adverse, and that we must work towards improving it to a qualified and ultimately unqualified and clean audit. Bojanala district municipality improved from qualified to an unqualified opinion, while Madibeng improved from adverse to qualified. However, persistent challenges remain amongst the 5 worst performing municipalities that you have highlighted, which have continued to receive disclaimer and adverse. And we are having a focused program to ensure that municipalities in this coming audit cycle, there is a noticeable improvement. Notably, that ensure that municipalities in this coming audit cycle, there is a noticeable improvement. Notably, that also working on qualified municipalities to move them to unqualified audit. In 131 of the MFMA requires that municipalities must address any issues raised by the Auditor General in an audit. Municipalities have used various tools and not contain key details or information in support of effective implementation. The implementation of the audit action plan by municipalities has not always resulted in to accelerate the provision of real-time assistance to municipalities. The web-enabled audit action plan serves to address the gaps identified through the audit process. The system was institutionalized by the provincial treasury, and subsequently all municipalities in the province are utilizing the system to assist municipalities and municipal entities to not only increase efficiency in municipal reporting, but also the effectiveness of the audit action plan is measured through the successful implementation through the audit process. The system was institutionalized by the provincial treasury, and subsequently all municipalities in the province are utilizing the system. The effectiveness of the audit action plan is measured through the successful implementation of audit findings in subsequent audits and translate into improvement in the audit opinion. In the report that we have shared, Chair, it outlines progress per municipality in terms of the progress made. All municipalities have captured findings in the web-enabled systems, and the following municipalities, Makwasi Hills, Dr. KK, Ditsobotla, Kagisano, Molopo Action Plan, were not approved by the CFO and internal audit, and it's a matter that we are addressing. Overall, the province completion rate is standing at 50.1%. I just want to indicate that in the table that has been provided in the report, when we indicate completed and findings addressed. Completed, it has not yet been verified by the internal audit, and the finding address is what has gone through by internal audit verified. So I thought I need to clarify that in that table so that there's a distinction and how we measure progress overall. In terms of why the non-improvement in some and why there's improvement in some. But speaking to the Ditsobotla municipality, has failed to improve its disclaimer audit outcome due to ongoing serious challenges, which includes governance challenges, severe capacity constraint, persistent instability by significantly weakened budget treasury office, limiting its ability to perform essential day-to-day financial function. Non-compliance with legislative requirement, lack of institutional leadership, failure as well of post-implementation, administrative and political instability. The provincial treasury in Ditsobotla has deployed a multidisciplinary team which my colleague has responded to. Amongst others, the intervention team undertook critical support intervention, including the reconstruction of financial transactions that had previously been processed outside of municipal core financial system. These transactions were systematically captured and integrated into the system core financial system. These transactions were systematically captured and integrated into the system annual financial statement covering a 3-year audit cycle. Notably, the team performed task functions that were ordinarily fall within the scope of responsibilities of municipal officials, highlighting significant capacity gaps within the administration. The team played a critical role in revenue enhancement by assisting with catch-up billing processes and reconciling the municipality's financial system with the general valuation role. In terms of consequence management implementation, the provincial EXCO representative intervened and placed the municipality under mandatory intervention in line with the assessment conducted, which revealed that the municipality meet the criteria thereof. Lekwa Taimani, reasons for transgression includes inadequate record keeping, unsupported financial balances, weak internal controls, amongst others. The support we provided to address the persistent weaknesses in internal controls, targeted support was provided to the municipality, particularly in the areas of asset management. These include development of standard operating procedure for asset management, guided on how to apply the standard operating procedures in daily operation to improve accountability and transparency in asset management, including workshop and practical sessions to ensure staff understood their roles and responsibilities. Alignment with National Treasury guidelines, the standard operation procedures were developed in line with the financial management reform and internal control framework recommended by the National Treasury, aiming at enhancing compliance and financial discipline. In terms of consequence management, an assessment conducted had met the statutory requirement, indicating it is in the state of serious financial distress, outline specific indicators of financial problems, including persistent cash flow, constraint, failures to meet financial obligations, and breakdown in financial management. In light of these serious challenges, a formal recommendation was made to the broader EXTEC to recommend to the EXCO to invoke section 1395A as highlighted by my colleague. In Ratlo, the challenges have been highlighted. In terms of our support, we provided assistance to Ratlo municipality to address its weaknesses in internal control environment. The following targeted support interventions were implemented. Assessment of internal control environment was conducted to evaluate the state of internal control across key financial and operational processes. This assessment areas vulnerable to risk or inefficiencies. Development of internal control improvement plan. Based on the findings from the assessment, a detailed and structured action plan was developed and shared with municipal management. This plan outlines corrective measures required to address the identified deficiencies, including timelines, responsible officials, and expected outcomes. Engagement with senior management was held to ensure that the action plan was presented to senior management and ensure that there's buy-in, accountability, and ownership. And we highlight a number of municipalities which I will not speak to, as MEC Mula PC has spoken to, Mamusa municipality and Makwasi municipality, amongst other municipalities, including Kagisano Molopo. We have also a support focus area for clean audit municipalities with their current unqualified audit status, a sound institutional capacity in Bojanala District Municipality, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda Municipality, and Moretele Local Municipality are well positioned to achieve clean audit outcomes through targeted support in compliance, enforcement, and performance management. These municipalities are can close the remaining gap and serve as model of good governance and financial accountability in the province. And together with SALGA and COGTA and the Office of the Premier, we have had engagements with the 3 municipalities as part of our clean audit strategy, ensuring customized support to address remaining challenges and sustain momentum. Sana, JB Max Municipality, Greater Taung, Mahikeng, Ngaka Mulema, Moses Kotani, and Dr. Ruth to move from qualified to unqualified audit opinion, working together with those municipalities that I have highlighted. In terms of unfunded budget, councils again adopted unfunded budget in 2023, contrary to advice given by the National and Provincial Treasury. The Northwest has been cited amongst the provinces where the adoption of unfunded budget was most prevalent, as 16 municipalities passed unfunded budget, resulting in unauthorized expenditure to the value of 8.7 billion. 64% of municipalities in the province adopted unfunded budget for the 3-year cycle. Even with the budget funding plan that we put in place working with municipal officials, we must say that it has been a serious challenge. The objective is of credible funded medium-term revenue expenditure framework budgets in compliance with the Municipal Financial Management Act. In terms of our assessment, a conducted budget assessment to assess credibility of the municipality. We provided guidance and focus support to municipalities. We assessed programs that will not necessarily support the core mandate of municipalities, but also to ensure that municipalities on their own, they will reprioritize on what is important for the current financial year and what they plan for the medium term. But unfortunately, it has been a challenge in terms of unrealistic revenue projection based on overstated revenue base and collection rate, failure to implement cost containment measures resulting in spending beyond collectible revenue, spending on non-core operational costs, unrealistic budget assumption, tariffs that are not cost-effective, high distribution losses, failure to implement approved funding plans, or if they approve funding plans, they don't adhere to those funding plans. Corrective measures that we are and have been undertaking in response to various challenges faced by municipalities, the department has identified the need to deploy experienced financial professionals to both the provincial treasury, budgeting, financial reporting, asset management, expenditure control, internal audit and risk management. A structured support approach is essential to turning around municipal financial management performance through targeted expertise and practical support to building capacity, compliance and resilient municipalities. The deployment of financial management experts will serve the following strategic objective: strengthening the institutional capacity of municipal budget BTOs, provide hand-on technical support to address recurring audit findings and improve the quality and timelines of annual financial statements, assist in the implementation of financial recovery plan and enforcement of internal controls, improve in-year monitoring, budget implementation, and audit action tracking, enhance the provincial treasury ability to execute its oversight, support, and intervention roles over time. We have indicated that there are municipalities that are under mandatory intervention and voluntary intervention, over and above the two that the Premier has spoken to of Ramotsere Muilo municipality and Dr. Ruth Tsimukhumutsi Mumpati. Naledi Naledi local municipality has institutionalized the financial recovery. The progress achieved have translated into positive outcomes, mainly due to persistent challenges in revenue collection. Similarly, the implementation of the voluntary rescue phase of FRP is implemented for 16 months, and Makwasiels, Matlosana, and Mamusa still remain in the rescue phase, and there are persistent challenges. Institutionalized the financial recovery. The progress achieved have translated into positive outcomes, mainly due to persistent challenges in revenue collection. Similarly, the implementation of the voluntary rescue phase of FRP is implemented for 16 months, and Makwasiels, Matlosana, and Mamusa still remain in the rescue phase, and there are persistent challenges. Highlight is the lack of ownership from the institutionalize the financial recovery as a responsibility of the provincial exco representative, whereas it's a financial recovery plan that must be owned and internalized, institutionalized across all different levels. That we have been lacking on some of the pillars, except of we have been lacking on some of the pillars, except of we have been lacking on some of the pillars, except of delivery pillar. Unauthorized irregular expenditure in 2023-2024, 132 municipalities did not comply with the legislation on consequence management. The lack of consequences is most evident in areas of poor, slow response. Fraud indicators, not investigating or not properly dealing with unauthorized irregular expenditure. And we must mention there are challenges of a council not accepting or taking action in terms of the recommendation of the municipal public accounts committees. And where matters are referred to the disciplinary report, there are obviously again challenges of the implementation of the recommendation or follow through of the recommendation of the disciplinary report that have been made. We have issued directives to all municipalities to revise their UIFW expenditure reduction strategy and to develop detailed implementation plan to address historical UIFW expenditure by the 31st of August 2025. Letters from ourselves to mayors instructed the municipality to revise the UIFW strategies and to address historical UIFW expenditure by the 31st of August 2025. Letters from ourselves to mayors instructed the municipality to revise the UIFW strategies, budget treasury office members with the tools and templates related to UIFW processes in collaboration with COGTA and SALGA during January and February 2028. In collaboration with COGTA and SALGA during January and February 2028. Budget treasury office members with the tools and templates related to UIFW processes in collaboration with COGTA and SALGA during January and February 2028. Continue to support municipalities to institutionalize good contract management practices. Underlying root causes for poor contract include, amongst others, a number of, my apologies, Chairperson.
Whilst you're checking, you may as well give us reference of the page where you are now.
Okay. Of the root causes include inadequate skills and capacity, and quite often there's no collaboration between finance, supply chain, and the core department. If maybe the service is provided by technical services, there's no direct relationship in terms of ensuring service and also the finance and budget treasury offices. Contract. Lack of accountability and consequence management. There is a persistent culture of non-enforcement of contractual obligation that is deep-rooted. And even in instances where municipalities we've picked up, they do double payments. Municipalities, they don't recover what that double payment. And it's a matter that we have addressed on many occasions with municipalities through our EXCO representative, to then say you are still contracted with this service provider, even if you were not, if that service provider was still not contracted, the municipality has an obligation to again recover the money that has been paid unduly to that service provider. And there are instances again where the contract is not monitored adequately to an extent that all services that was contracted, there's certainty that it was provided for. Interference in terms of contract management is compromised by in the procurement processes, which results in contract being awarded to in the procurement processes, which results in contract being awarded to undermines projects implementation and opens the door to corruption. Contract without necessarily following the required regulations, or there was no even there can be such an extension of that contract, and are often awarded late or without clear deliverables and performance indicators. As a result, to address these widespread deficiencies in municipal contract management, the Provincial Treasury has implemented a structured support focusing on capacity building and compliance monitoring. The Provincial Treasury has facilitated or resuscitation of contract management committees within municipalities. These committees set variables, manage risk, and ensure that contract milestones are adhered to. Monitoring and reporting. A dedicated monitoring framework has been established to ensure that municipalities internal different units or directorates to ensure that these contract registers are properly monitored, units or directorates to ensure that these contract registers are properly monitored, units or directorates to ensure that these contract registers are properly monitored, and the relevant department in terms of monitoring of this contract. Over-reliance on consultant, which has been stated, and it cannot be overstated, as you indicated, Chair. This has led to growing deficiencies in internal consultants, and over the years, there's even on some of the contracted services where there are individuals who can perform that function in the municipality, you find that there's responsibilities, and in some cases, as we have highlighted, responsibilities, and in some cases, as we have highlighted, to assist municipalities to build capacity within the BTO. The strategy entails the deployment of financial management experts to serve the following strategic objective: strengthen the institutional capacity of municipal budget, strengthen the institutional capacity of municipal budget within the BTO. The strategy entails the deployment of financial management experts to serve the following strategic objective: strengthen the institutional capacity of municipal budget, provide hands-on technical support to address recurring audit findings as alluded earlier, assist in implementing financial recovery and in-year monitoring. This intervention aligns with the objective and in-year monitoring. This intervention aligns with the objective and in-year monitoring. This intervention aligns with the objective the 6 game changer funded budget revenue to address the financial management failures at municipalities. The support framework includes gap filling, deploying financial experts to address immediate skills shortages and operational bottlenecks. Today, coaching of municipal officials, system establishment, supporting financial management systems, changes in municipal financial management. I would not reiterate on consequence management because earlier on we mentioned of the support that we collectively provide as a province and that we've been working together, supported and led by the Premier, COGTA and SALGA, to ensure that we provide support to municipalities. But we must reiterate, support can work well and intervention work well when it's well received by municipalities. Where we have experienced resistance, there's always a challenge in terms of our intervention registering progress. And we implore on our municipalities that everybody has a constitutional responsibility and a role that is outlined in terms of the law. And we are not encroaching in this place, but it's all within our interest to ensure that we improve performance of the municipalities, institutional integrity, and accountability and performance. We all have a different responsibility, and that must be understood in that.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable members, litness sake, you saying you support the enforcement of Section 216. Do you want to say specifically what that is? For those who are non-compliant. Members, do you have questions? We've got enough questions. All right, we'll do it this way. You will answer as you get asked. We wait until you finish before you take the next question. So start with the 216 and then we go to the next question. We'll just follow the row. It's your second paragraph of page 40.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I just didn't go through because I was looking at the time. But in terms of the support, we are indicating that the following measures, it's early warning and monitoring, which we conduct monthly and quarterly reviews on budget implementation and financial performance, and the reports are available to that effect, which we can share with members. Audit progress, as we have also highlighted, informed by the web-enabled audit action plan implementation. We escalation and support where non-compliance continues. Provincial Treasury escalates the matter to the National Treasury and Provincial Legislature, but by submitting the relevant monthly and quarterly report. And again, we still continue with the technical support through engagement on the CFO's forum, including the Municipal Managers Forum, and again at MuniMec level, together with the MEC of COGTA, on some of the challenges that we would highlight, and with municipalities, and all issues that we have
I think you are avoiding it, ne? You are avoiding it. Let's be specific. I didn't want to read it myself. I wanted you to say it.
Okay.
Because your provision there, it says the National Treasury, section 216(2) is very brief. It says the National Treasury must enforce compliance with the measures established in terms of section 1 and may stop the transfer of funds to an organ of state if there commits a serious or persistent material breach of the commits a serious or persistent material breach of the
holding of transfers, which has happened, I think, in the previous financial year twice, and even in the recently, where about 8 municipalities were affected, and letter was written to all municipalities, including COGTA. So we supported municipalities to comply with the relevant requirements that National Treasury highlighted, and about 6 municipalities in July did receive the first tranche, and the second tranche was received after the first compliance was made with the payment of third parties that was raised by the National Treasury.
Yeah, so
third parties that was raised by the National Treasury.
Yeah, so
third parties that was raised by the National Treasury.
Yeah, so I wanted you to say that is what you have done, withdrawing. And which ones are those? So I wanted the list. That's why I said we must be specific.
Oh, okay. Largely it was Ditsobotla municipality, Swaying municipality, Makwasi municipality, Khetleng municipality. Mamusa, again, it's one of the municipalities which did not comply. And as a result, it has not received its equitable share. But the rest of the municipalities received first the first tranche after ensuring that they comply of payments of third parties after they provided the necessary proof, and we're working with them where the second tranche was made to all the relevant municipalities. In terms of the expectation of third parties and the equitable share that is available.
So it's Mamusa, Ditsobotla, Tswaing. We don't have
a lady municipality.
That's fine. Let's take the next question. Who's got the roving mic? Can we have another mic, please? Don't move your mic because you're going to respond immediately. If we can start on my left. All right, your hand is up now. That's fine. You can have your ma'am.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is based on, I would like to know, when you talk about relative council stability, can you unpack that? What are you referring to? Especially considering the creditors that you have unpaid, the ESCOM debt, the water board, and on the high vacancy rate, your support required is just a one-size-fits-all. How does that happen? And how do you implement that? It's a one-size-fits-all, so your municipalities are the same. On the political instability, how does it happen that you can have 2 mayors and 2 speakers? I would like to know. You say 60% of MPECs are functional. I would like to know, those 60% who are functional, do they provide assurance to the Auditor General on the FWs that we are seeing? And are there any investigations on these billions and billions of UIFWs? You said there is an improvement on audit outcomes. I would love to know which areas exactly have improved so far, because when you look at this report, and come from, and the 40% of the MPECs that are dysfunctional.
Let's round up the question.
That's the last one, Chair, if you can give me, because you have a 60% and a 40% of dysfunctional and functional MPECs. I would like to know the reasons for the dysfunctionality of 40% of MPECs. Thank you.
That goes to MEC Molapisi.
Thanks very much.
Try and be direct to the
Yes.
point so we get as many covered.
Initially, if you look back in terms of relative stability, you would realize that many of the municipalities were not submitting the I didn't get the question. The question on the high vacancy rate, Chair, I will request the honourable member to just repeat that. Political instability, to just repeat that. Political instability.
On vacancy rate? Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. On the high vacancy rate, when you go to the last column where it says support required. You just get a one-size-fits-all for all of them. Support required. You just get a one-size-fits-all for all of them. Continuous monitoring and support province. I don't think that resolves the problems because it's asking about the support required, but you go underneath, you get one size fits all.
Thank you very much, Chair. Report, it will tell you when did the vacancy occur and what is the status. Because we directed all the municipalities to fill their vacancies by a particular time. But we also, in that report which I'm saying, what are some of the challenges? Some of the challenges would be budget constraints and all that. With regard to does it happen? I think when members have an opportunity to interact with a municipality, I think there will be some of these things. But what we are faced with, it's the political instability. What is causing the political instability? Functionality of
MEC, no, not like that. You have two speakers, two mayors. The MEC says we must ask them, but you are the one in charge. That's a question. How do you land up in that situation, and what's your action on it? Because it has to be...
No, I understand the question. We have two speakers, two mayors, two municipal managers in Ditsobotla. In our report, we indicate that this municipality has been facing challenges. It's not for the first time that it's happening. And it is because of the political differences in that municipality. As we speak, in Ditsobotla, there is one mayor because the other mayor has taken the matter to court. But as we speak, there is just one mayor. But the political instability is mainly manifested because of the political differences among political parties that are there. In Ramotseremuilwa, because that's the only two areas that...
Let's just deal with this one. So you got two speakers, two mayors, two... Who designates them? And when that happens, where is the MEC? What's the MEC's intervention?
Okay. In Ditsobotla, Chair, there was one speaker from the ANC, and then there was one mayor from the Forum for Service Delivery. What then happened, the speaker passed on. Then there was a council meeting. That council meeting resulted in the election of the mayor and the speaker, including the chief whip from different political parties. During the process, then the ANC decided to remove this mayor, who was not the deployed mayor of the ANC. And then the other mayor and the speaker refused to vacate their position, which led to their expulsion. And that is why you ended up having two mayors, two speakers, because they refused to vacate their position and challenge the decision. The municipal manager who was acting, there was a substantive municipal manager who was appointed. Then this other mayor and speaker appointed another municipal manager and suspended this one. So that's where we are now in Ditsobotla. In Ramotsere.
You move a bit too fast. We keep getting you back. Where is the MEC when these two mayors, two speakers are slugging it out?
We intervene, we convene meetings, but issues would be more political, as I'm saying, Chair, that the political party that individual members belong to acted. But we convene a meeting. We went to Ditsobotla with the Premier. We met with the council. We demanded the council meeting, minutes, to look into the regularity of the then convened meeting, convened meeting. So the MEC intervened, and that's where we are. We have intervened, and as we speak, there's only one mayor, there's only one speaker. Besides that, other individuals have taken the matter to court, but they are no longer part of the municipal council, like I'm saying, that they've been expelled or dismissed by their party.
I'm sure the members will still be interested in this issue, but just to clarify the issues, the role, responsibility of a political party in this matter ends outside the council. Inside the council, the MEC is in charge. Inside the council, you are an officer of government who is supposed to comply to the prescripts of the legislation. That is why we're asking you the question. The MEC intervenes irrespective. And so I'm still not sure I've got it, but let's let you proceed. We'll get the other members to, if they are clarified, we'll leave it at that. But you can give us the other example?
The other one was in Ramotsere, which we said it was performing and doing well until the last council meeting. We have intervened and we have looked into the meeting that was convened by the speaker. And we had agreed that that meeting was, the process was flawed because the process did not comply with the rules of order of the council. We have written to the speaker to inform her that we do not recognize the other, because there it was only the mayor, not the speaker. We do not recognize that council sitting and that the status quo should remain. So that's where we are in Ramotsere. There is only one mayor, there is only one speaker, and there is only one municipal manager, as compared to Ditsobotla, which had two speakers, two mayors, and two municipal managers.
Okay, let's proceed to the 60% MPACs which are functional.
There was a question, Chair, on the functionality of MPAC and the investigation. In the detailed report that we are referring to, you would find out that some of the MPAC are not capacitated. You only have a chair of the MPAC and one official. So they are not able to, can perform their duty. But in some instances, MPAC will table the report and those reports would not be adopted either by council. So that's some of the challenges that we are having in terms of the improvement of the audit outcome. On the 40%, on the non-functionality of, on the reasons, I think that's what I've just referred to, that the 40% is mainly because of the poor capacity within the MPAC themselves, and that is why you have only 40% that are functional. I'm not sure if I've answered all the questions, Chair, but that would be the response. Thanks very much.
Okay, let's take the next questions. Excuse me? She asked about?
Audit.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's missing. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry. Proceed. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. We have indicated in the report that there is an improvement. Obviously, it's not a satisfactory improvement. But when you compare the outcome of 2020-2021, we had 9 municipalities with disclaimers. And 2023-2024, we only had 3 municipalities with disclaimers, meaning some had improved to qualified, and we are working on that for them to be qualified, to get qualified audit opinion. And again, our support is not necessarily one size fits all, because we do assessment as we have indicated in the report. And when we do the assessment, we then do a customized action plan based on the assessment that we would have done on an operational area, either in the BTO, an area that is relevant, that we would have identified that there are weaknesses in the system. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Well, the first question is
Sorry, just for ease of the members, you don't mind just to repeat your name and the committee so that the record can be properly captured.
all right. Thank you. The name again is Kwenza Madlala from Scopa. The first question is more of a follow-up from the last response, and the question relates to the impact on service delivery, the actual deliverables, based on the improved audit outcomes. I want to pose that question. Whether you've made any assessment that the improved audit outcomes you are speaking to have any relevance to the service delivery effects on the ground, so that we don't just get the books right and the service not going to the people. The second question relates to the acting municipal manager of Lekwa Taiman, and I'm going to pose some questions to them, but the question to you relates to the oversight responsibility. There's been an acting MM there for over close to a year. The question is whether in your oversight responsibility that has been processed through your office. The same municipal manager is said to be having a criminal record, an assault criminal record, was employed and is currently employed substantively as a director of corporate services. I want to understand in your oversight responsibility if that also was processed by your office. The third question speaks to the issue that was raised, I think, by the Premier. I know that this is not the responsibility of provincial government in terms of the mining rights and mining permits, but the role of mining in alleviating poverty and ensuring that it bridges the unemployment gap is important for the province as well. I want to understand if there's any role that the province is playing in terms of ensuring that the untouched minerals of Northwest, which are quite a lot in certain areas, are actually, permits are granted. I know that it's the Department of Minerals, but is there any support? Maybe that's a direct question. Is there any support that the provincial government is playing to ensure that the communities and investors are able to get access to mining permits in order to ensure that some of your problems of unemployment are addressed? The last question is a follow-up question as well in terms of the parallel structures or parallel leadership in these municipalities. So the municipal managers, for example, are both paid. That is the question. So they both get a salary. And the follow-up question again from that is, on whose account, under who does the account of the municipality belong? Or they become all signatories of releasing funds in the municipality, or there's one legitimate one and another bogus one? Thank you.
Okay, please respond. And Premier will deal with the question on the mining. Maybe you might be the one to start on the question of mining, and then you can just make it brief.
No, thank you very much, Chair. No, like the latter speaker spoke about the function and the responsibility of the mining being the responsibility of national government. Our role is more of a facilitation. We interact with our communities. We also interact with our traditional leadership where there is potential mining. But the responsibility, as you said, is to facilitate the national department with our stakeholders. But we do create forums where we interact with the national department, with all interested parties. Now recently we have facilitated with the minerals department, and more detailed focus was on the SLPs, more detail was on the illegal mining and the zamas and so forth. But in terms of potential applicants, we have not done that as a provincial government, because we believe people must directly apply to the department. But in terms of compliance, we have been directly involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. With regard to the acting MM of Lekwate Manning, I must report that the municipality has recently appointed a substantive municipal manager, which I want to believe maybe he had started or she had started today. I am not aware of the criminal case against the acting MM, because the municipality, as an appointing authority, appointed one of the managers within their pool or workforce to act as a municipal manager. So the municipality did not submit documents. What we do normally in terms of compliance issues with regard to the regulation, when the appointment is made, we subject it into compliance issues to check those kind of issues. But that would only be for your substantive appointed either accounting officers or managers directly reporting to the municipal manager. In terms of who bears the cost with regard to the parallel accounting officers, and here the case referred to Ditsobotla, the acting municipal manager who was appointed by the then mayor and the speaker was duly appointed by that authority, because what they did, they terminated the contract of the substantive municipal manager, who then challenged it in court. So it became a court battle. So the municipal manager who was duly appointed was of course paid by the municipality up until the substantive municipal manager won his court case, and the order of the court was for him to return to the municipality, which upon his return he then terminated the acting municipal manager. So that's the situation. Like I said, it's only Ditsobotla that experienced this. Thanks very much.
Okay, let's proceed. Who's going to deal with the comparison between audit outcomes and service delivery?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Obviously, we have not made a clear assessment on the correlation between improved audit outcome and the relationship or correlation with service delivery. But we all know that the AG has raised a serious concern on the performance information of municipalities. Obviously, the performance information largely speaks to service delivery issues, and I think it's one area that we will focus on, as I indicated earlier, that on service delivery pillar, we are working with COGTA to ensure that we address the challenges of performance information as it relates to service delivery. But for now, we have not made a direct assessment on the correlation between the two. From a treasury point of view, we have been largely focused on improvement of the financial environment. Thank you.
I see you are not happy, but let's get the other members. I'm a bit worried because we didn't ask one, we asked 4 questions. So let's move on to the next one. If the next one, Tingswa. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. My name is Zwelakim Tetwa, member of Portfolio Committee on COGTA. Mine is going to be economical this time, not racial. I will leave the racial part. I will reflect it through economic ownership patterns.
I think your party is going to review your membership. You're getting the DA members excited. They're cheering at you. This is very good. Proceed.
Okay. Chair, thanks. The first time I was in this province was 2008 during the time of Minister Buyela Sonjika, during the minerals and energy oversight we're doing here. This province is very rich in supplying the world with the PGMs, platinum group metals. So it is not true that this province is not doing well. But let me tell you what the mining industry does. They mislead government on the productivity of the mining sector, and they declare mining sector as sunset industry instead of it a sunrise industry for future reasons. The president promised Donald Trump rare minerals, and his target was this province. And we know for the fact. And which part of this province was he referring to? That's why Elon Musk is even interested, is involved here. So, being that, what are you doing to ensure ownership patterns in terms of the economic participation of the people here? 2, why are the Puking Royal community are said to be doing well? I don't say they're doing well, because I know. They are said to be doing well because the Big 5 is concentrated there. Then the rest of other Amakos are not doing well. So there's something wrong in terms of the pattern in which you are applying. And then furthermore, it's clear that there are no early warning signs in the municipal framework as ills are setting in. If you have a longevity of problems emanating in municipalities, you are not attending to them, then you are actually allowing the situation to exist. I have the following Amakosi. Abagapalane, Bebakubung, Kolidach, Ramatlabama, Zibi, Moilwa, Bapong. All of these Amakosi, who are the landowners here. We've claimed the land in Northwest. We have the report on land claims with clear title deeds. You are not giving the people Amakosi their land. And why? Because I have the record. So it means government has no institutional will to return the land to the people. I'm happy when you are saying the commodity performance of minerals has dampened the mining sector. I see that as an opportunity for the natives to then take over their land and run it their way, not according to Eurocentric manner, because they came here exactly just for those minerals. So it is them who are dampening the economy so that they hoard the economy for future generations and claim that they are not doing well. I'm from the mining sector, so I know they are doing well. So please, can we then see, if you're saying the performance of commodities declining, are you seeing an exodus of those who own these mines living in Northwest? If they're not living Northwest, so it's a lie that it is not performing. They are actually chasing you away. towards the transformation agenda in this province so that economy doesn't go to its rightful people. So then we need to deal with that. I would like us to then focus on the ownership patterns in terms of land. Land is a factor of production, and there are four of them: land, buildings, ownership, owner's equity, and labor. You are sitting with a lot of labor that comes from black communities. And the areas around these mines, they're shacks. According to the scorecard of the mining charter, I want to check the following. Procurement opportunities, are the blacks benefiting? Skills development, are you benefiting? You shouldn't be struggling with skills in the municipalities because it's part of what you need to petition the mining sector to develop those skills so that it can be used even in government. They are not just limited to mining space. Enterprise development. Where are the mines procuring their capital goods and their day-to-day running, the protective clothing, the nuts and bolts? Where are the techno parks that were promised?
Honorable Mteto,
Yes.
please round up.
Okay, Kulungilaba. Where the Technopark program, because it was supposed to boost the local economic development policy of municipalities, we don't see that. Corporate social investment, it should be actually redirected to the poor communities. It is not happening. The Marikana situation, did you eventually solve it? Did you ensure that those people are actually paid? Actually looking at lawmen who are the culprits in this matter? And are you developing the labor sending areas where you procure your labor? These are the things. Thank you.
All right. Honorable Premier, you are at liberty to deal with the issues. You are a politician. So where it means you bring your views, we can tolerate that. The issues are largely directed to the Department of Mineral and Energy. But you are here, so we want to hear what your views are, but you don't have to answer on behalf of that department. But let's hear.
No, thank you very much, Chair. I think we are avoiding that space. But the reality is that we have these mining companies in the Northwest. In 2024, we convened all these potential investors in the province. And we categorically stated to them that one is employing people of the province, skills development, and a post-mining program. Because the reality is that at some point, these mines will be depleted. What are you investing in the province post the mining period? What is the clear implementation plan? That's what we challenge them on. Secondly, we challenge them on what are your economic engagements beyond the SLP in the mining areas? What are your skills development programs in the mining area for purpose of localization? What is your SMME development program in a specific area besides the SLP? And your SLPs can't just be on crutches, paving, and so on. We engage them on that. We even said, as a province, we have set what is called a development fund. We have put 100 million as a starting package as a province to show our commitment. We want you to also contribute towards catalytic projects in the province. And a number of mining companies that have come, in terms of contribution for building of roads, serious water infrastructure projects in the province. And that is out of serious engagement of the provincial government. But obviously, some of the mandates are residing with national government on this. And that's why we are saying we have created forums at local, in particular in Bochanala, where is the Bochanala Platinum Belt, and where the national government is coming and participating on these important discussions on potential investment, potential collaboration, and so on. And our traditional leaders are participating at that level. But also the issue of land, we agree on that. Land is a very serious matter, and everything depends on land. And we believe that the Land Reform Department also plays a critical role in this discussion. So we don't want to play a political part on the issue of land, as sensitive as it is. But everything, Chair, I agree that if we cannot discuss land critically and seriously, we will not address the primary issues that has raised by the member. But we are involved as a provincial government with all what I've said earlier on. Thank you very much.
That's fine. Let's proceed. Next question.
Thank you, Chair. Eleanor Space-Kowek. Mine is directed to the MEC of Finance. Ma'am, I've just made in a very quick calculation on your top 7 municipalities that is just page 5, yeah. The top 7 municipalities with the highest unauthorized, irregular, and fruitless and wasteful expenditure amounts to about just over like 50 billion rand. And you can just imagine what can be done with that. And I would like to understand what specific disciplinary actions are officials facing who have been found guilty of unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. And then I also want to know, have you done a comprehensive and investigation? And what would you say are the root causes and also the extent of these losses? And how does your department intend to recover these losses? Then you've mentioned the issue of lack of ownership and institutionalization of the financial recovery plan, which I think is that is a very, very huge concern. I want to understand exactly what is the plan of action that you are following, because you said earlier on when you mentioned the issue of over-reliance of consultants that there's a multi-pronged support plan, but we need to have the details of such plans if that is possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. The financial recovery plan, we can make it available because we table it to the legislature. It was also because it was done jointly with the National Treasury, and that plan was gazetted. So we can share all those financial recovery plans per municipality. We have been working on one now because together with National Treasury, we are now placing Matlosane, escalating the intervention from mandatory to, voluntary to mandatory. We have also gazetted that financial recovery. It was closing last week on Wednesday, what we have gazetted. And we also do share the reports on a quarterly basis with the provincial legislature, with the Minister of Finance, together with the Premier and also our colleague in COGTA. In terms of the comprehensive assessment of the UIFW, we indicated in our report that it should be a joint effort of the accounting officer, municipal public accounts, and disciplinary boards, and we have indicated the challenges thereof. And we have highlighted also areas where we have raised the concern of recovery of some of these losses, and repeatedly municipalities have not taken action on the recovery of those losses. We often at times you find that we train MPECs. After training the MPECs, the chair has been changed by the municipality, we have to go back. So there's also no consistency in terms of the MPEC functionality, because now you have new MPEC appointed councillors that we have to train. The investigation reports that we conduct, we share with the COGTA, because in terms of Section 106, it is the responsibility of COGTA to conduct the investigation. But from time to time, they will ask us through our internal audit to assist them with that investigation. And where we have a provincial EXCO representative, we will ask them to do that investigation report, and we'll send it to council, because it's a sphere of government. It has an accounting officer, it has an executive mayor, and it's a council with full powers. They need to take action, and that's why we are raising concern on some of the disciplinary board reports that action has not been taken. And of course, there are some investigations that are now with the law enforcement agencies that are unfolding, and obviously we will await the process as it unfolds with law enforcement on the outcomes of some of those investigations. Thank you.
Yes, you'll be next. Take this.
Thank you, Chairperson. Honorable Mwali from Standing Committee on the AG. Chair, through you, may I ask the MEC to at least give me 3 municipalities where there has been a provincial intervention that has yielded positive results. Just give it 3 where there was a disclaimer and they moved from a disclaimer to an unqualified or a clean audit. Because, Chair, we want to run away from the exercise of having reports where there's an intervention but it's not assisting. So I want to have an example of an intervention that has yielded positive results, where we have seen improvements on the performance, on the financial performance of the municipality. Number 1. Number 2, Chairperson, through you again, the MEC, I would like to ask the question on considering to dissolve councils that are continuously misbehaving, because we are sitting with issues of councils that have municipality, that have two municipal managers, 2 mayors. They're even challenging them in court. So through your interventions, because the Act provides that in the event that you've had an intervention, but whatever that was identified as means to have that intervention is not being fixed or is not yielding any positive result, you can further dissolve that council. So do you have an instance where you have dissolved a council as a result, so that you, and then have an administrator to run that municipality until you have those issues resolved? For Mamusa, Chairperson, we have an intervention again. We have a candidate as a candidate chair as appointed by the province to the municipality, but also we have an MM again. So clarity on that one, because we have 2 for Mamusa now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. For the other ones, I will hand over to MEC of COGTA. But just to indicate, in terms of municipalities that are under financial recovery, we have highlighted 3 municipalities that have shown significant improvement. One is Ramotsere Muilwa, except the current political development. But it's one municipality that previously adopted unfunded budget, and it has adopted funded budget in this budget adoption fund period. It's one municipality that opted also for ESCOM debt relief, and it's one of the municipalities that also adhered to the terms of the ESCOM debt relief, and as a result, from the Premier's indication, about 29 million will be written off. We have indicated that also Dr. Ruth Monpati It's one of the municipalities that has moved from rescue phase to the stabilization phase, and we are phasing in out some of our EXCO representatives because they have demonstrated that they can implement the financial recovery. We've also indicated that Naledi municipality is one of the municipalities that has improved. Of course, in terms of Section 219, there was a challenge and they had to be assisted. But we have addressed some of the challenges in terms of the debt that was owed by some of the state institutions to make sure that we improve their cash flow and adhere to some of the financial commitments, which were also a hindrance in terms of the challenges. But from a financial recovery plan point of view, at the political level and at an administrative level, there's full ownership and monitoring of the financial recovery plan. And in the next month now, actually now starting in September, we have moved them to the stabilization phase. And of course others, there are challenges. The municipalities that we say have also improved on the 3 in terms of audit outcome, we say Bojanala has moved from qualified to unqualified, and it's one of the municipalities that we are targeting for clean audit outcome in the next audit cycle. And we are also saying that Madibeng received adverse and now it's unqualified. It's not obviously satisfactory, but it's a gradual improvement as we are indicating the gradual improvement, and we hope that they will sustain that. The only challenge is that with Madibeng, when we thought we are registering progress on the financial recovery plan, this quarter they regress, the other quarter they perform better. So it's not a consistent improved performance. It spiral from time to time. And also Makwasi Hill says improved from disclaimer to adverse. It's not something to celebrate at all. We do agree. But improvement is important, that we gradually take municipalities from time to time with us. And we are saying that overall, all municipalities that are unqualified, we are working tirelessly to ensure that they will move from qualified to unqualified. And over and above that, we have identified 3 municipalities, which is Moretele municipality, which is Bojanala municipality, and Dr. Kenneth Kaunda municipality, which have received unqualified, and with at least we believe that they stand a greater chance with the support intervention that we have put in place for them to receive clean audit opinion in the next audit cycle. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Chair. In Mamusa, we don't have 2 municipal managers, so we have not seconded anybody currently. What happened immediately after the termination of the contract of the substantive municipal manager, the council resolved to request the MEC to second an MM, which we did. In the process, the council resolved to reinstate the terminated municipal manager and requested the MEC to withdraw the seconded municipal manager. That is why we have intervened and said that we are giving them directives, and part of the directives to correct that anomaly of terminating and reinstating the municipal manager, so you don't have 2 accounting officers. With regard to considering the dissolution or dysfunctional of a municipality, and I think Honorable Member is referring to Ditsobotla, because that is the municipality that is experiencing problem. We would have indicated in our report some of the persistent challenges which are political in Ditsobotla. If I can just take these members, honorable members on board to say there has been several interventions in Ditsobotla in terms of dissolution, not once, not twice, not thrice. The latest being the one of 2022, where we have dissolved the municipality immediately after your 2021 government elections. The municipality was dissolved, but where we are now, we are back to that situation before the dissolution. That is why our approach at the level of EXCO was that we need to escalate the matter, and in our discussion with the National Department of COGTA, we are strongly recommending that we should consider invocation of Section 13917, where the national government intervene, and not only intervene by sending an administrator. Our view is that it's a crime scene, because we have a lot of people who were irregularly employed there. When you send administrators, they have been assaulted, including law enforcement officers. So you need to take a different approach, because dissolution has not bear any fruits, and that is why we are taking this approach. And in our discussion with the minister, was that cabinet should seriously consider this. Of course, we have looked into other options, but we are saying we have not explored the invocation of 1397 by national. So once maybe we have done that, maybe would have a different outcome. But dissolution at this stage, we have done that before and we have received the same outcome or results. Thanks, Chair.
Just out of interest, so the political instability, when you dissolve, what happens? Is it obviously political instability means councillors are fighting? The correct, simple, direct translation of that, councillors are fighting. Now, when you dissolve, the same councillors come back, and that's what you are saying, and then they continue the fight the second time around.
Not necessarily, Chair. For instance, the previous councillors, some of them were barred from standing. You had a new crop of councillors, but the outcome became the same, where motion of confidence, endless motion of no confidence will be passed either to the mayor, the speaker, and all that. So it's not necessarily those who were there before.
Let's proceed. Yes, Dikeledi.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Dikeledi Direko, and I am a member of the COGTA Portfolio Committee. My question is on MEC of COGTA. MEC, on your presentation on slide number 5, the presentation reported that 60% of our MPEG, your MPEGs, are functional. And there is also an acknowledgement of significant growth of the UIF despite the improvement on the audit outcomes. So after raising this concern of the significant growth on the UIF, can you confidently say the MPEGs are functional, or they just exist for the sake of compliance? Bearing in mind that in the province there's one municipality, if not many, that have outsourced the services of MPEG to the service provider due to lack of capacity within the council. Secondly, on provision of the support to municipalities, which processes are you using to appoint the intervention officers or secondment? The reason why I'm asking this question is I just received a communique from one member of the community about the secondment of the acting to Tswayi municipality. And the person in question has a history of working in the municipalities that are problematic and distressed, such as Madibeng and Ditsobotla. So how come the provincial government trusts such a person associated with some level of failure to turn around Tswayi? The last question is on the MEC of Finance. The MEC has raised a critical issue about intervention being effective when it's positively received. So how far is the department experience? So how's the department experience in the municipalities that have been under intervention? Have you encountered any challenges? And if so, can you please take us along? Thank you.
Can I get The team that is servicing this meeting, who are in charge of the mics, can you please just be available? The people that were sending for the mics are actually just helping because they want to do the interpretation. They shouldn't be doing what they're doing. I'm worried that they're going to get to miss out on some of the things that they're supposed to do. Now, who is the team that is in charge of this? We need you to come and sit here so we can see you, and you must move the mics around quickly. Unless you can provide more mics to make it easier. But your mics have been faltering. In fact, I hear there's a complaint on the people who are watching from outside. They can't hear us. And I'm told that that's been going on for the whole morning. And it's not fair because people have been invited to observe from YouTube. Yes, so it's not correct that we should have an ineffective communication system because there's a whole lot of public that might want to follow how the discussions are going. So can you please just sort that out? Thank you. Please proceed, MEC.
Thanks very much, Chair. Now, our report is a comparative analysis. We are looking into the prior years, and that is why we are saying there is an improvement, because if you look into prior years, you would find that most of our MPEC were non-functional. There were no reports that were being tabled. And we are, however, acknowledging that despite the functionality of this impact, we continue to see the challenges in terms of your unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. So we are making that acknowledgement that in terms of the functionality of the MPEC, there is an improvement if you look back. But yes, and that is why we are making that acknowledgement that we experience some of the challenges. And I did indicate that some of the challenges may be on issues of capacity of the very same structures of the MPEC, which we are working on to improve the situation. Previously, we were looking into people who have served in municipalities before and drawing from that resource to deploy them as acting municipal manager or as people that can be seconded. We have had a discussion with the AG on the matter, and the AG has queried us on this issue. What we are exploring now is to have a panel of experts so that as and when there is a necessity by a municipality for secondment, then we draw from there. But also we are looking into or utilizing some of the officials within both in Treasury and COGTA, depending on the needs of a municipality. So in some instances where municipalities are seriously challenged, would request different departments to intervene depending on the skills that is needed by the municipality. I must say that the official in question that is being referred to, despite the challenges that we are having in Tswaying, before his arrival in Tswaying, there were quite a number of serious challenges in that municipality. And before the end of his contract, in terms of the closeout report, there are improvements which has also been acknowledged by council through the mayor, through the letter that she has written to us to say that they appreciate the work that he has done. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member Direk. The intervention, as I've highlighted correctly, so as you put it, in the 3 municipalities I've mentioned, we have mandatory intervention. It was well received. There was ownership from an oversight, meaning council, meaning the executive as well. There was cooperation, and it was institutionalized. In other municipalities, you would find that the mayor and the speaker, they don't agree, or they don't cooperate with the provincial EXCO representative. When they issue directives, either the mayor support or the speaker doesn't agree, or they don't agree with the report that has been tabled. So obviously, even if there are efforts, there will always be challenges because of disagreement at the political level or at an administrative level. You find either the MM feels that the executive EXCO representative is targeting them. In some instances, they will avail certain information, but information that is related to procurement, to check compliance and all that, and adherence to certain issues such as cash flow management strategy, agreeing on the cash flow committee on how to reprioritize, putting up systems in terms of revenue, billing system, cleansing the data and so on. They would agree with certain things, but when you come to processing of payment, some information will be available, some information will not be availed to the EXCO representative. When they issue directive to say, you have more than 16 people operating the bank account of the municipality, and this must be corrected, you find that the municipality is not correcting it. In some instances where there are double payments that I've spoken to, of recovering that money from those service provider, the municipality end up not taking action. So as a result, all these multiple factors contribute in the lack of progress of implementation of the FRP. In the main, it's lack of ownership and the understanding that the financial recovery plan is the responsibility of the municipality. We are there largely to support and ensure that there's implementation and guide municipality in terms of that implementation. And just to indicate on our part, the appointment of provincial EXCO representative, it was done through an advert, and the target was done, it must be previous accounting officers, and that's how they were appointed. I know it was not directed at us, but also they are not in the public, in the system, but it was done through a competitive process and a robust process, as the Premier alluded to in the presentation, in his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson.